Dhu-loin 2024. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people should be warned that the following presentation may contain the images and sound recordings of people who have passed away. We acknowledge that these events took place on sovereign, sacred and unceded Wiradyuri Nation. We pay our respect to those who came before us, our ancestors. We pay respect to elders past, present and emerging, and we extend that respect to all First Peoples. We acknowledge the fallen on all sides of the Wiradyuri Homeland Wars, also known as the Bathurst Wars. The innocent children, women and men who perished as the colony expanded into unceded Wiradyuri Nation. We remember these events that changed Wiradyuri Nation forever. We also acknowledge our resilience as Aboriginal people, and we celebrate our survival. Dhu-loin came about through discussions that were held many years ago by our old people, some of whom have now gone back home to the dreaming. They told us not to forget what happened here. They asked us to mark this date and to commemorate those Wiradyuri Mayan who died at the hands of the colonisers as their homelands were stolen and their sacred places desecrated. The 200-year anniversary of the declaration of martial law in 1824 approached us. Uncle Bill Allen, Yindyamarra, asked members of the Wiradyuri community to mark the occasion with a corroboree at Wiradyuri, in the very location where Wiradyuri held corroborees before colonisation. This would be the first time that Aboriginal people would hold corroboree in this place in over 200 years. Members of Wiradyuri Traditional Owners Central West Aboriginal Corporation and other Wiradyuri people, other First Nations mob, allies and supporters also organised the other Dhu-loin events: a conference at CSU, Aboriginal art markets and gala concert, Dhu-loin exhibition at Bathurst Regional Art Gallery, and cultural workshops as a way to share their truths and to share culture with the broader community. This resulted in a week-long series of activities and events in August of 2024.
Yindyamarra bu Yamamalaya Yunyandi Murwa Josh Sly Baladu Birup Warama Wiradyuri. So good day and hello friends, my name is Murwa, which means west wind. English name is Josh Sly. I'm a proud Birup Warama Wiradyuri man. We're down here at the Womble ceremony circle, as you can see behind, getting ready for our corroboree. So we've just had the smoking, an official sort of welcome uptown by Uncle Bill and Auntie Leanna, and now we're down here to continue that welcome as a part of the Dhu-loin project. So we're about to stomp up and continue that welcome and that ceremony to start the week of memorial, but also celebration for us mob here. There's a lot of sad history in Bathurst that not many people know, but there's also a beautiful side that we're continuing, our culture, even though all the massacres and the martial law and that all come the back of Wiradyuri. You know, he stood up for us, and I couldn't be prouder. I grew up out in West Bathurst, and on all my documents and everything it said I grew up in Wiradyuri. That was a suburb, so couldn't be more proud to be here with the brothers representing Jirabung footprint, started by my cousin Jordan Boney. So yeah, we're here to stomp it up and let country know that we're here, still here, and we're still continuing culture and letting them old people know, you know, they didn't just fight for nothing. We're here, and not just, you know, surviving, we're thriving. So yeah, Manangul, thank you.
Dhu-loin, The War That Never Ended is an exhibition that I've curated with Annie and Leona Carr-Smith. The exhibition really looks at Wiradyuri ways of remembering the past and how the past lives within us. And so there's historical works by contemporary Wiradyuri artists, sort of cross-section thinking about the way that the war, you know, lives within our families and lives within our communities.
The linear. This contribution is from myself, Leona Carr-Smith, and Henry Simmons. This desk, or we call it the charge desk, we believe that this was the desk that martial law was written on. It's just an allegation, but this desk is pretty important in the history of truth-telling, because it belonged to a fellow by the name of Lachlan Macquarie. And under the drawers and underneath the desk, there's lots of graffiti on there. And with the graffiti, it has Lachlan Macquarie's name on it. So we believe that it belonged to him, and that this desk is actually, you know, lots of documents were written and lots of things were wrote down during that time before and after the declaration of martial law. So it's pretty significant in the history of this town and also in the history of this country, if it's true that it is. But there is evidence on the desk, like I said, graffiti of, Macquarie. And the idea of this exhibition, like my exhibition here, was to put the desk on country. So these places are significant to us, Wiradyuri, and this is actually the last shot of Walu, and it's a sunset, and it was probably the one that had the least amount of effort to do that. The sunset was amazing, and we just sort of decided at the end of this exhibition, or this part of the exhibition that we've contributed to, was to end at Walu. This one here is Bubay Walu, and the desk is here again. And that's me standing there. And Bubay Walu is actually, there's a women's area there because there's a birthing site. So the idea of this was to have snapshots of country. This is the bowling club, which is the original police barracks in town, and that's where this desk lived in there. And it was really important that we sort of have put the desk there at that place, because, like I said, that's the original police barracks, and that desk lived in there somewhere a long time ago. And the symbolism of the cloak, the willow, and the bundi, for me it was like trying to put two things together that don't necessarily go together. I love this shot. This was a really early morning shot, and this is Wiradyuri. This was taken really early in the morning, and this is the cottage, we call it, and it has dual heritage because it's been listed as with dual heritage. So all of those rocks in in this little cottage, they actually belong to the ceremonial circles up at Wiradyuri. So, you know, the idea of it is it's got European heritage, but it also has, first and foremost, Wiradyuri heritage. So me standing there, I just want people sort of to think about that cottage and look at those stones, because those stones actually belong to the original, like, ceremonial circles up at Wiradyuri there. So these images here, we did these over like a couple of days, and this is the Bathurst Courthouse. Really, really early in the morning, and country and sky was beautiful. And Henry done such a wonderful job with trying to, I suppose, interpret like what I had in my mind, the vision. And this is probably one of my favourite photos, because it hasn't been photoshopped. It's just perfect. Like, even to the pink skies and the birds and, you know, the gates and everything like that. And, you know, this desk that sits here in the front of it took not a whole lot of time to sort of think about it. It was like it was just meant to be, like this whole collection. This is Stuart's house where he lived on Wiradyuri country, and it's a beautiful old house. It's Abercrombie house, but it also has a dark history to it too, because it's on Wiradyuri country, and the owner of the place, for Wiradyuri people, it wasn't a good relationship, let's say that. And this is probably another, I love this picture. This is out at Brucedale, so on the Sutter family, their property, and you know, early morning, and it's probably one of my favourite images again, because it's the desk, you can see it but you can't. Like, I see country first and then I see the desk. The idea of it again is the charge desk is, and who owned it, and thought-provoking for other people. And this is the back part of the police barracks. So the other image over there was the front part, and this is the back part. So I met an old fella down there, and he was wonderful, and he shared the history of this. So this is the back part, but this back part over here where I'm pointing, this used to be where the Aboriginal trackers were housed over here, and then over here was the kitchen. And so, you know, it has its own history, this building does. And this desk lived in this building. And then finding out from this local fella that this place also had this hidden history, it was beautiful. So Henry and I just thought it was so important, like, to do the front and the back part of this building, because it just creates a different kind of conversation. And I think that, again, it's a part of our history as a community, and people just think that's the bowling greens. Yeah, it is, but before that, it was actually the police barracks. And you know, we all know that this desk played a major role in the history of the declaration of martial law in Bathurst. This is probably my favourite picture, and again it's out at Brucedale, and I have our willow on, like our possum skin cloak, and it was early morning, and it's probably one of my favourite pictures. And everyone says the same thing. Nobody actually can see me in that tree, but Henry captured that image. I was just reflecting while I was on country and waiting for like the prompt to, and he came up with this magical picture and all the shadows and the leaves and like the idea of country. And I know that some of the people who I've been talking to, especially my kids, like they've actually said, oh, I didn't even see you there, because the possum skin cloak, like the willow, it looks like the tree, and it's like, you're one with country, like you're one with nature. And I was like, oh, yeah, that was really thought-provoking for me. I love working with Henry, and you know, the way that he's captured my vision that I had in my head about country and the connection to country and the love of country for Wiradyuri, like it comes back to like we are country and country is us. This picture and this image that he created is exactly that, being one with country. And I hope that lots of people in this, when they come into this part of the exhibition, is to look at the images and just think about like the thoughts. It doesn't have individual like labels on the images. You need to look at it and make up your own mind. You know, the idea of it is not to think about what I've said and what others say. It's your own opinion about country, and if this desk that lives in Bathurst, and you know, is it the charge desk? Is it not? What role did it play in martial law? And then the idea of it being on country and what it actually did to country, you know, through just a stroke of a pen. And I think that it's probably for me, over the couple of days that we did this, it was pretty thought-provoking and an emotional roller coaster, because there was lots of things going on behind the scenes that you know, that people don't actually see. But the end result, I think, myself personally, is the images speak for themselves. Yeah.
My name is Lorraine Conley-Northey. I'm an artist that's been invited into this exhibition called Dhu-loin. My work is about Wiradyuri country. So the back pieces of these works, of these 6 works, the different backings are representing different kinds of country on Wiradyuri country. For example, you know, grass country, woodlands, dry areas like a sandy area. So they are all about Wiradyuri country, what we're on today, and the other extra, I suppose, like the shape that I've also added to all these pieces of land is the shape to represent the Coolaman, the traditional Aboriginal bush bowl, and we use that as grass seed people, Wiradyuri people. We've used these bowls, and still do, to winnow the seed, to separate the seed from the rest of the plant, if you like. So that is us, that's us Wiradyuri people, grass seed people, with our coolamans sitting on country.
What?
And the edges of my work, while they are deceivingly look nice and smooth, they're actually not. They've got some nice sharpness about them. But I purposely keep these in the work. I don't smooth them down. I keep them so that people who are handling the work may and hopefully get a little bit hurt, get a little bit bitten by the works. So that's the sharp edges. And the idea about that is I say to people, well, a little bit of pain, I purposely squeeze that to nothing, but a little bit of pain that you suffer, we continue to suffer pain for generations as we go on. So yes, the pain is a huge part of my work. I love the browns of country, the ground, and I love the greens of the trees. So I certainly love to highlight all those different browns in this work. And the one at the end, the last one down here, it has certainly a beautiful purple tinge to it, if you like. And this purple tinge could even represent that on this country has taken place, like fire has taken place. So if we looked at something like slow burning that we traditionally done and dealt with our high volume of fuel, burnt those woods down, soft burn, low burn, looking after country, and particularly the plants and animals need to survive in that slow burn, not like our nowadays huge fires where nothing survives. I think things like this beautiful piece of country here, we have this lovely spotted effect, and so you can have it could be something like even the clay pans, or it could be a lot of the different salt waters that crystallise, and it's all sorts of interpretations could go on with this one here. But yeah, I think the main thing that I want to do is to keep it simple but powerful. So it's country, and it's clearly us, Wiradyuri, with our winnowing tools, our coolamans, bush bowls, as part of that.
Hello, my name's Sharon Riley. I'm a Wiradyuri woman from the Lithgow area, but I've been invited here this week to facilitate the possum skin workshops. And this is a cloak that I made in the Lithgow community after the Black Summer fires. So it was a little project that we done to bring community together for healing country and community. But it was a nice way of bringing community together and sharing a bit of our culture. The skins that we got here now, these are kangaroo skins, and they belong to myself and my daughter. And they got our storylines on them, and totems and things that are significant to us directly as Wiradyuri women. Rather than making a big cloak, because there's quite a bit of time involved in that, we've just cut the possum skins down. So the skin, cut them down, and making armbands. So this is one that Jonathan made before the workshop. And this is what the participants are doing today.
Hi, I'm Jessica Spencer. I'm a Simpson from the Sandhills in Narrandera, and today I'm currently doing a weaving workshop with this lovely group to celebrate a really important moment in Wiradyuri history. So today we're making beautiful armbands. We're using the coiling technique. Our lovely group is about halfway through. So this stitch is called coiling, and it's what we use to make baskets and mats and woven adornments, so things like earrings and necklaces and items like that. So it's a really versatile stitch, and it's a really nice, gentle way to teach people how to weave.
G'day, my name's Josh Simpson. I'm the facilitator at the tool making workshops here, teaching them to make some string and rope, binding. It's an old binding technique, traditional binding technique utilised by our ancient people, utilising river reeds like Lamandra, Dhu-loin in Wiradyuri. I've got a display of beautiful woodwork behind me here, some lovely implements. Some of them are mine, some creations I've made, some emu egg carvings, all sorts of stuff. But these are all traditional practices of our old people, and in a sense I am still practicing our old time traditions, just in a modern day way.
We have made it to the corroboree at Walu. This morning it was raining, and it rained most of the night. We didn't think we was going to make it, but we don't see it as a negative. We always see it as a blessing from the ancestors that they've cleansed country for us. So we're pretty excited to honour our old people and our ancestors on this part of Walu, which is actually the celebration site, and it's pretty important that we be here and that the clouds are broken and the sun's come out. I want to give thanks to our ancestors for that, and looking forward to a really special afternoon. So, yeah, Mandangulu.
So here we are at the Dhu-loin markets on Saturday, one of the final programs of the week. We've got artists from all around New South Wales coming to show their continuation of cultural practices and engaging with community and having a yarn.
Eye for an eye, the whole world goes blind. Are we back to where we began? Turn a blind eye, the whole world is in denial. That's your problem, not mine. Wiradyuri Bun. No payback, no balance. Wiradyuri Bun, Wiradyuri Bun, Wiradyuri Bun, Wiradyuri Bun, Wiradyuri Bun. No payback, no balance. I wear this skin like a curse, I blend in. Has it washed away my birthright? I steal your comfort while you judge me, never knowing why. And here we rest in violence, 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 and here we rest in violence. The circle never ending like the sea of stars, bright and black and endless. The circle never ending like the sea of stars, bright and black and endless. Bright and black and endless. Bright and black and endless.